Hi. So it's Sonali here, and I'm creating this video because it seems like I've had a few people message me and asking for some support and guidance around just kind of asking a little bit what I do for my meditations and wanting some tips in terms of maybe what to listen to. So yeah, so some of you, I guess, have been following me for maybe a bit now, um, and so yeah, I meditate usually every day for like about an hour and a half. Sometimes I go 2 hours, and then sometimes on the weekend I'll go for 3 to 5 hours. It really just kind of depends how the day is going. But it's really a dream for me to be able to go as long as I can, because there's so much time when you're in that level, in that state of consciousness, that like elevated state of consciousness. It's almost like time doesn't exist. There's you don't feel it the way you feel it when your eyes are open and you're awake. It's like when you're there, it's like you're moving around from different states of consciousness, and you're going into like visualizations to experiencing the movement of energy, to being in space. And as you're navigating through all these spaces, like time is just going by so quickly. And, what seems like a moment, or maybe it feels like maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, when you open your eyes, it's already been like an hour, that's passed by. So, so that's been my experience, when I meditate. But lately, my meditations have been getting going deeper, which has been really great. And so yeah, so I'm gonna get started and kind of show you a little bit around what my morning routine looks like in my meditations, and yeah, I guess take you through that a little bit. So when I wake up in the morning, I usually like to I have like a meditation playlist, and so I like to do a little bit. Sometimes I like to do a little bit of a warm up meditation. So I kind of divide. If I go for ideally 2 hours, I like to have about anywhere between like 30 minutes to an hour of a warm up meditation. It doesn't have to be that long. You can have like a 10-minute warm up meditation if you like. But that's what I like to do. And then so when I'm in that space, when I'm in the warm up meditation, what I like to do is I like to use that time to just like first, just focus on your breath and completely, relax. So relax your shoulders, relax your arms, relax your neck, and then to just bring your attention, to your breath. And so as you're doing this, I use this time to just like focus on really letting go of my thoughts, letting go of the day, let go of like what you might your stresses around work, your stresses around money, your stresses around maybe relationships, and and just really take a moment to let go. And sometimes you need like a minute to even go deeper actually into those places, but we just have to be careful to not let ourselves get too carried away with the narratives, that each of these um things bring, to us, because sometimes when you close your eyes and you think of something that is bothering you or is affecting you emotionally, often when the minute you close your eyes, you can get really pulled into that narrative. And so this is where, like, it's so important and it's so valuable where meditation comes, because it really teaches you how to take control back, when it comes to your mind and your thoughts. Because our mind is such a powerful tool, right? It's like And we're very, very often, from young, we're not taught how to use it um properly and to our advantage, especially when it comes to manifestation, and when it comes to the element of creation, right? So we're taught to like operate in such, operate within boundaries. And and when you meditate, you can there are no boundaries. There's no boundaries, but yeah. So, but the best way I would say, is to like, so I use this time to really let go of all those things. The best way is to work on that. And I use this time to also connect to the void. And so, what do I mean when I say the void? So, I've been listening to a lot of like Dr. Joe Dispenza lately, which he's like absolutely amazing. Um, Here, I'll show you who Dr. Joe Dispenza is. Da, 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 da. Some of you may know him, some of you may not. But I've been following him quite a bit. Let's see. There we go, Dr. Joe. Okay. So I just created my own list of like Dr. Joe favorites, right? And so I have like he's got like an online program, course and stuff that he does. So right there, Dr. Joe Dispenza with a Z at the end, ZA. And so, anyway, so he talks about this quantum field, about how you can access this quantum field, and it takes practice, but you can do it. Like it's completely feasible. Anyone can do it. And you don't need to be like a professional guru. You don't need to be meditating for years, or for very long to access it, you know. But um, but if you follow a practice, right, of meditating, and you follow some work around breath work, um, and you start to expand your consciousness and your awareness around this understanding of how you are so connected to everything. And I know that sometimes sounds like a very cliche, thing to say, and because we hear it very often, but I think a lot of people don't really understand the feeling, aspect of that, because I hope I'm not going very long in this. I'm actually recording this for the very first time, and and yeah, I don't know. I hope you get some value out of this. So, anyways, here, let me just go back to the meditation here. Yeah, and so there's a space that you go into. So it's imagine like you're just visualizing space, and you're in space. And so you can identify that what exists in the space, that there's a you. So you exist, right? Because you're aware of the self. And then you know that space exists because you can see space. So you're aware that that exists. And then you can see planets and stars. So you become the first thing, that you become aware of are the things that you can see in your mind, right? And the thing that you can sense the most is you, right? And then you begin to sense space. And so what Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about is that, to really, take time to practice going into this space in your meditation, especially in the beginning, right? And as you visualize space, that's your first step. And then your second step is then to start to like tune into the space around you, right? Like tune into like, so there's objects that exist around you, and then there's space. There's the air, there's just space, right? There's space in your room, there's space beyond your home, there's space beyond your city. There's like you can see the space that surrounds the mountains, the trees, the houses, the sky. And then there's space that exists beyond your country, and then beyond your earth, and then beyond the space that surrounds your earth. There's space that exists beyond that. So to connect with the space, that exists beyond everything, beyond, like, you just imagine following that description I just gave. And then as you tap into the space, first start with visualizing it and seeing it in your mind. And then as you visualize it, start sitting with it. Just sit with it. Just sit with the vision of it. Sit with this, start to sense it, start to feel it. Start to sense and feel space around you. Start to look in front of you in your mind. Look to the right of you. Look to both sides of you. Then use your peripheral vision as you look in front of you so that you can see both sides while you're looking forward. And then try to experience looking behind you without turning your head. It's only in your mind. In your mind, look behind you and know that the space behind you is different from the space in front of you, right? Just in the terms of direction, but it's all the same space. And then he talks about as you start to tune into the space, the second phase is to start to feel the space and start to merge with the space as if you are the space, as if you become the space that is surrounding all objects, that surrounds all planets, all stars, all solar systems, all galaxies, Earth, the countries, the cities, in your room. So start to sense and feel as if you are the space that exists around all physical matter. And as you tune into this space and you start to feel it, you start to sense it, you start to feel the objects around you as if you are the space that's embracing every form that is formed into existence. And it's in this space, and this is what we call the void. It's in this space where creation occurs, where creation comes from, where ideas come from that form into matter, where planets form, where stars form, where all life forms. And so what I do in the beginning of my meditation is I go into this place. And this is usually how I start my warm up. And so you tune into this space, you go through those phases, right? First sitting, letting go, releasing your thoughts, then tuning in to space in your room, the space around, your building, your home, your city. See the space that surrounds the clouds, the mountains, and then goes beyond the planet, and then beyond the stars, and then beyond your solar system. And you sit there, and you sit there for as long as you can, or as long as the music video goes till, right? And then after that, I'll start into my more guided meditation, right? And the guided meditation will then focus on, um, two future potentials that you would like to manifest, that you'd like to attract into your life. So I start my meditation off first by tuning into the void and tuning in and merging with the void, merging consciousness actually with the void. So you become one consciousness and you tap into this space of consciousness where all creation exists. And you just sit there, you sit there, and you sit there, and you let that percolate your entire being, every cell in your body. That's because every cell in your body has consciousness, and every cell in your body is like its own galaxy, right? So you let that level of consciousness percolate your entire body and cells of consciousness. And you sit there, and then before you move on to your next part of your meditation, which then you're now ready to go into creation, right? To go into manifesting. But before you get there, we work on energy centers and then we go into creation. So um, I hope, please, I sincerely apologize if this is going long. I promise to make a shorter video. This is the first time I'm giving this like a go right now. I'm just doing it on the spur of the moment. So this is the meditation here, um, uh, that I really, really, really love. I love this video and meditation. It's one of the most beautiful, heartwarming sounding, um, high frequency, I don't know, heart chakra meditations I've found so far. It's so beautiful. I'll let you listen to the music a little bit. I hope you can hear it. Yeah. So yeah, stop it. So this is the one that I start off with, but this one's only 7 minutes, so 7 to 8 minutes. So what I do is sometimes like I need a little bit more time, the 7 minutes to elevate, through those different spaces before I end up at that final point, uh, like completely merging with the void. Because sometimes it takes time. Sometimes, it takes 10 minutes just to concentrate, right? Sometimes it takes 10 minutes uh, just to feel like the space and navigate through those places, right? Because if you have thoughts that kind of come in and distract you, sometimes it's better to start over, like from the beginning. Um, because the more thoughts that distract you take you out of it, right? And it's the and don't worry about that happening in the beginning. It's perfectly normal. It's going to happen, and trust me. There's the step one to meditation is to release judgment, especially judgment of self, right? That is step one, is to just let go and just relax. Don't worry about don't worry about stuff. Just follow, with like a humble heart, you know, into that journey. And so yeah, so I often will, once it hits the end, I'll start it right back in the beginning and I keep going and I keep going. One of these days, I'm just going to try to copy this into create an extended version. Um, okay, so I do that, and then after that, what I'll do is I will then go into my Dr. Joe Dispenza guided meditation, which is this one, right? And so this is a guided meditation that Dr. Joe Dispenza has. And first, he starts the meditation with having you bring your attention, your focus, and placing your attention on your energy centers, because a lot of people don't know this, but attention alone is energy, is a form of energy, and is the life form of consciousness. Is simply your attention. Because as you start to, like, go through your meditation and you start getting better and it starts going deeper, when you sit, right, when you can sit and just like focus on your breath, what I notice is that when I move my attention, even the slightest, I can feel the energy of that attention touching wherever it is I'm moving. It's almost as if your attention is an arm. It's but it's like a wave of energy. But wherever that wave of bubble energy moves or navigates to, whatever's around that can feel it, right? So your arm can feel it if you put it there, or your shoulder, or your stomach, or if you move it from one hand to the other hand, you just throw that ball of energy around, or if you move it around your body like a circle, like You can feel that wave of attention. And the way to feel that is to completely focus on your breath for as long as you can while you're breathing, and then just relax, 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 let go, and then keep with that breath. And that's when you can really feel like the actual life force energy of your attention. And so when you place your attention on, say, like in this particular guided meditation, he'll start you on your root chakra, and then he'll go up, and then he'll go into your heart chakra, place your attention in your heart chakra, then your throat, um, then your third eye, and up through your head. And so what happens is, as you're placing your attention there, you know, your that energy center can feel your attention. It can feel your presence you know, is like beholding it, right? And so when you place your attention there, you begin to feed that energy center like intentional energy. Intentional energy is very powerful, right? So you get to feed it blessings, you get to feed it love, you get to feed it infinite coherence. To coherence means to be connected to in harmony, to be harmoniously connected, where energy is flowing up and down fluidly and equally, right? And communication is being received, on both ends very transparently. And so when you like place your attention on your energy center and you say, okay, I'm blessing this with an infinite love, with infinite love from all directions and from all universes and from all centers. I'm blessing the space with infinite coherence with all other energy centers, to have infinite coherence, infinite transparency and connection with all my energy centers, and to have infinite coherence with source. So for it to receive communication and information from source infinitely and transparently, and to release all blocks. um, and so, when you do that and you place your attention there and you give these commands, it starts to open up that energy center. It starts to activate that energy center. And so that's very important to do before you enter your manifestation part of the meditation, right? Because you are awakening all your energy centers to say, hey guys, all right, let's wake up. It's time to work together, and let's all focus together on, you know, bringing this vision that I have into form, into physical form, into my reality. So he'll take you through that, right? And then in about here, this particular point, he'll then guide you to going back into the void. So where you just came from, to go into the void of space where you are nothing, you have no name, you have no body, right? And when I say you are nothing, meaning you have no identity. You're just consciousness floating in space, in the void, connecting to the void to become one consciousness. And so he'll ask you to sit there for as long as you can. Or, sorry, not as long as you can, but he has a little time. And then he'll guide you out of it. And then he'll ask you, what is your first potential? And your first potential means like, we have many future potentials, right? Because, they're, it's like whatever we decide that we want to do. But pick one thing that you would like to attract, that you would like to experience, that you would like to transform, that you would like to change, that you would like to have. And and don't focus on the negative aspects of it. Focus only and solely on the positive aspect of what you want to experience, of what you want to happen. So visualize that change, visualize that transformation, visualize that thing that you want, visualize that healing, visualize that different place that you're in, that you want to be in. Visualize that, and visualize that so deeply and so well, as if, remember when you were like a child, when you were like, 8 years old or 5 years old, and, you know, and your imagination was so vivid, like you were hopping over the lava, you were fighting dragons, like you were running through the castle, and nobody needed to tell you what was around you because you could see it. You were so good. Your like imagination was like crushing it. You were ripping through it. And so that's kind of where to remind yourself, like to kind of do your best to visualize, and don't worry, you get better as you do this. So don't worry about like, oh, it's not working. Like honestly, it everything improves. Whatever you feed energy to, that thing will grow. Whether it's an idea, a physical thing, a non-physical thing, it could be anything. It'll always naturally grow if you feed it energy. So visualize the experience that you want and visualize what's around you. Look around you, like feel the sand beneath your feet, feel the water between your toes, feel the air brushing through your hair. Feel like look at the view that you're standing, from that beautiful home that you have that you've always wanted. Visualize all the money, the money that you want to have and where you want to be. Visualize people coming into your store if you have a business. So whatever it is, visualize that and visualize the sounds, like the subtle details, the touch of the door, the sound of the floor, the sound of the chairs, the people talking, um, the sensation you feel, the love, the happiness, and the joy that you feel. Visualize that and visualize as many scenarios of that as you can. And by scenarios, I mean, sorry, as many angles of that particular thing, right? And then once you're ready, then he'll guide you to let go of it and to let go and to send it off into the void, into the space of creation. Okay, and then he'll let you sit in the space of creation for a very short minute before he guides you into your second um, future potential, right? So what's the second thing you would like to have, that you would like to have now and experience and bring from your future into your current reality? So you do the same thing, and the second time, and then he slowly brings you out of it. So that's what I usually do for my morning meditation. And and again, like if you don't have this guided meditation, because I think this is part of like an actual program, you can you can visualize. I can try to actually create a guided meditation that kind of goes through those exact steps. But you can visualize those exact things and listen to also any just soft music meditation, you know, in the background. So this is another one I really love. It's just very calming, angelic, clouds, God's essence, spirit moving through you. It's like the angels singing from the clouds. So this is another favorite one of mine. Sometimes I use this one as a warm up. Sometimes I just listen to this only and I just go through my own steps of the meditation, which is, all the steps that I shared so far, right? But another really good guided meditation, actually, that's very similar to the Dr. Joe Dispenza one that I just shared, uh, is this one. This is a beautiful one. This is a great guided meditation. It's only 26 minutes, so it's actually shorter. But you could always, like, if you want something to go a little bit longer, or if you're like, maybe you're really deep into a visualization, but you want to feed that visualization a little bit more of your um, focus energy, your presence energy, and then creation energy, then I would just simply just rewind it a little bit, and just keep feeding it, keep feeding, keep feeding it. And then when you're ready to like let it go into like the void and move on to the next step, then you just like, let it keep running until it goes to the next thing. Right? Okay. So yeah, so that's what I do. Yeah, take note of this name, how to manifest anything, visualize what you want, powerful guided meditation. And yeah, and so that's what I do so far with my meditations. These are some really, really good ones. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Maybe this will inspire me to share more of my experiences by video or do some guided meditations. Yeah. So, well, many, many blessings, to you, and sending you lots of love and infinite love and infinite wisdom. And just remember that the more you tune in to this deep awareness, this deep presence that you are the stars, you are the planet, you are the ocean, you're the gorgeous sun in the sky, you're the blue skies, you're the birds chirping, you're the child smiling, and you're the leaf that's green, that's like you can see the sun coming through. There are all those things, and you're beautiful, and you're infinite. You're an infinite spirit that is only awakening to the powers that you have around creation. Hope this is helpful. My name's Sonali. Talk to you soon.